Hello, and welcome to Becky's House of Sewing. I'm Becky. This is my house of sewing. I am also in my sewing room in my house, and I talk about all things thread and needle. I also have a new shirt on that is very soft, but has an itchy tag. Let's just rip that right off. Didn't know that it didn't start itching until I sat down to talk to you. So hi, I've done this before, but I haven't done it in about 6 months or so. So hello to all my old friends. Hello to any new friends. I generally talk about cross stitch and quilting, but you never know. I like a good sewing gadget. I like anything that involves shopping and tools in and around the craft industry. So you never know what I'll get into. Oh, I don't know if you noticed, but first thing first, go Gators. Had a good basketball season, which feels good after our football season. But it was very fun to watch them. My Apple Watch told me oftentimes I was in a loud environment while watching the basketball games at home. So Jean Farish, I see you about the basketball. She doesn't necessarily root for the Gators, but she's all about the tournament. So I thought today I would just kind of give a mini parade on the things I've been working on most often and a few things that I've made. I don't know if you've noticed in the background something else that's bright and shiny blue. That's right, I'm an award-winning quilter. Much to my delight, my Halo quilt, which you all have seen me work on and seen me finish. I'm trying to pull it off here, off the pile. That also includes some cross stitch. I have about 5 different things in there about this size. One first place in its group, which out of 175 quilts, I feel very honored. This show was at, it was the Charlotte Quilters Guild quilt show, and again, we have just under 200, probably about 150 members. It fluctuates, all age groups, all male, female, all different kinds of people, a lot of crossover with the modern guild and other guilds in the area, and I just have to say that they are not only my dear friends, but very talented people, and quite an honor in my eyes to have we bring in national judges, so they are nationally trained, they are nationally known, and for my quilt to be recognized in any fashion was quite a thrill. I had a great time. Now, I'm not saying it's not well deserved. This quilt was quite a monster to put together, but again, I would have been thrilled had it not won anything. I love it to pieces, but again, I am now and forever will be an award-winning quilter. My friends might be tired of me saying it, but it just tickles me so much. It just brings me so much joy, and again, makes me giggle every time I say it. So enjoy the blue ribbon in the background, and this is what won it. So it's so hard to show the whole thing on this little guy, but yeah, I did facing on it, and even the back is pieced. If you recall, I made the backing out of the stuff that was on the floor because I had to fussy cut so much. There were lots of pieces. But it was my first time I ever faced, which is basically doing the binding but folding it to the back so it's flat in the corners. And I got compliments on that. It's just so fun. So thank you. Hold your applause, please. So that's kind of the up-to-date work is work. Happy to have a job, happy to do what I do. I work at the Container Store. I go to customers' homes and help design spaces, which could include a craft room. If you're interested, call me. So yeah, it's a wildly entertaining job and high demand and very busy, all the things that a good job should be. Anyway, let's see some stitching. So, there's who knows what I've done and what I haven't done. I can tell you that I did a market start. I did buy several market charts, which I didn't bring over to show you. And I don't have a real haul situation today, but trust me, I buy things, so don't worry. But I also, if you watch The Last Homely House with Kate, she is in the year of trying to use what she has, and I do not believe in not buying things at this juncture. However, with that said, I have a lot of things, so I don't mind buying things. I don't feel I need to go on a spending stop, but I also want to use what I have because I have really great stuff. You can even see some things over there. That's not mine, but I can't wait to show it to you. Okay, so market start. I had to make some bags, and I've been playing around with my bag style. This is a prototype of sorts. Again, using what I had. It's not my favorite of bags. It is cute, but yeah, not my favorite. So like many others, I got from velvet to linen, and I had immediately I really wanted to do the silks. I really didn't want to spend $90 on the silks, so I went ahead and bought the DMCs. Poor DMCs, all tangly on my floss drops that I make on my Cricut, and I had this yummy fabric in my stash, so I got to use that. Now, I should have just justified that, well, I don't have to buy linen. I can certainly buy the silks if I want to. I just didn't. So this is where I'm at. I'm a little stalled. I love it. Do not get me wrong. It is a very fun stitch. I have miscounted quite a bit. And so I just kind of do a couple threads and thread complete, but I haven't stitched on this in a couple weeks. I've gotten distracted. But you're going to ask me what this fabric is, and I am going to tell you surely. Yes, I will, and don't call me Shirley. It's Honey 40 count by Be Stitch Me. So 40 count Honey Be Stitch Me. I'm counting it. I'm counting. I am not counting well, but I am trying to count. Using DMC's 1 thread over 2 threads of linen. So this is kind of centered. So this is as far over as it'll go. This is as tall as it'll be. I kind of started from the center and worked out. So we'll see how that goes. I have been a flibberty-gibbet when it comes to stitching. Not that I haven't been stitching, but I've just like gotten 80% done and stopped on a motif or anything like that. So it's just how life is sometimes. But you can't get it done if you don't work on it at all, and that's what I was doing. So that is one. See, these are kind of in a random order. So this one I want to show you because I have worked on it since last we spoke, but I haven't worked on it a ton. This one was an exclusive from a Stitch in Time in Australia. And if you recall, I bought this because the date was July and it was my 50th birthday start. And I made a bag out of Liberty of London It's the Tanalon fabric, so it's nice and silky feeling, and I embroidered 50 on it, and my initials, which you can't my initial B, which you may, there you go, a little closer. And I got these fabrics last February when we went to QuiltCon. See my cute little charm on there too. Ooh, little black sewing machine. And this I am using the Avera Soie, which is my first time using it. I am on a 40 count, and I am using the called for, so I kind of like ordered the kit. It's Tabby Cat linen 40 count, just the ticket. And I'll show you the thread in just a minute, because I can't read it. I didn't put my glasses on. That's where I'm at. And this is a very fun stitch. I do enjoy it when I do stitch it. Let's see if I can get it closer. Isn't it pretty? And the Avera Soie, let's see if I can figure out the color. It says 1026 Avera Soie. So like I said, my first time using Avera Soie, and silks are addicting. They are expensive and pretty for a reason. They do bring, what I have found, why I like them, is that they bring a little bit of extra luster and, dare I say, bounce to a stitch. So Katie Strachan does a great tutorial, or talks a lot about different silks to different types of fabric and different counts of fabric, that kind of thing. So you do have to pay attention and make sure that you're using the right style thread to the right style fabric to get the coverage that you're looking for. But so far, I've not hated anything that I've started with silk. I have, which I'll talk about next. Well, I'll talk about soon. Sorry, I lost track. I noticed I left my threads out and I got distracted. I have not enjoyed stitching on 46 count, but I think that was more about the fabric count than it was the silk. I think I just didn't enjoy concentrating that hard for 46. 'Cause I'm a busy working woman, you know, full-time job, so sometimes my stitching is there so I don't have to think. Not that I don't enjoy the creative process or doing something really tiny. It's that doesn't help my brain when it's tired. And sometimes I'm stitching at the last of the day so that I can kind of calm my mind and unwind, and I don't want something more difficult at that time. Makes sense, I hope. All right, I have a couple things that I have restarted. This one here is a Kathy Barrick. So I now have 2 Kathy Barrick whips, which squarely puts me in the Kathy Barrick fan club. It just does. This is one that I have restarted this 3 different times, and I apologize. I'm not going to have the pattern. I have bought the pattern twice as well, and I have a download, but it does not have the cover sheet to it. It is one of her stockings, but it's the sampler form of the stocking, and it's, and now I'm not going to remember the name of it. The Embroideress. I knew, I came up with it. The Embroideress. I bought this in 2020 or 2021. I have attempted to start it. The first time I didn't like the fabric. The second time I didn't like the linen. I didn't like the fabric, and I didn't like the DMCs. And so the third time I said, I'm just doing it. I bought the Avera Soie silks. And I went to look for another fabric that would work, and this is, I believe it's Milk and Honey by Fiber on a Whim, and this is what I have. So the top of it says all my scattering moments are taken up with my needle. And then it's a lady, and there's different other things that go down. So it's going to be a nice long one. Long and skinny. That's as wide as it is. A fun stitch with the Versoise. And the problems that I was having with the colors is that she is, and of course you can change skin tones and stuff like that, but there's a lot of neutral colors and light colors, like this one here, and different shades of browns and light pinks, and like I just had a hard time finding the right neutral color where the colors showed and didn't clash. So I haven't worked on this in a while. It's in a small little bag that I pieced together with some leftover fabrics. It's so tiny. It's probably like a size of paper big in comparison to the things I usually do. And then my friend got me this cute little bag. And those who don't know, I like pigs. You don't need to buy me any pigs. I have plenty. But you know, when those good friends find something that's good. And this is like a iPad case kind of thing. It's got a zipper top, and it's got a little flap here. The person that bought this for me, I hope, is watching. So thank you. I enjoy it. Now this is a Teresa Kogat piece that I stopped doing because I was doing 32 count 2/2 with the called for DMC and weeks, and the called for threads. It's several different brands, and I was hating it. All of a sudden, all of a sudden on the 32 count with the 2/2, I was hating how my stitches were looking. When I pulled it back out, it was probably fine, but it was not what I wanted. And we should stitch what we want. So I did. I did a Brenda and tossed it over my shoulder and went digging. I took my threads and I went digging. The sad part about starting over was that I really did like the linen it was on. It was fennel flower from Fox and Rabbit, and it was like a beautiful modeling in the window of this. Wilbur, well, you can see him. Let me get him on this thing. I like the fabric that I have now, but this is more of like a blue sky. And you get the gist. This is pretty much what he looks like. I just have to fill his ear in. It's about as wide as he is, and he's just in a big black border, kind of offset, so you can see like where his ear is cut off. That's where the border will go up. And he's just in a black box. And the flannel flower, maybe that's what it is, flannel flower, had some beautiful modeling kind of behind him. It looked like a storm cloud. And now this is kind of a blue-gray color. I feel like that's showing correctly, even if it's all wrinkly. And it does have some nice modeling in it. So it'll be fine, and I like him much better. Let me get you a little closer. Let me see if I can move this dangling thread for you. Isn't he cute? There you go. And let me read this guy. This is Frost by number 12 Stitch Co. And it is also a 40 count, so I could do 1/1. And the last 3 things I've shown you, fabrics, are thanks to my friend who came to my stitch group and brought a bunch of stuff and said, please take these. I do not want to use them. So I've been I didn't get permission to say your name, but I miss you at stitching and hope you can come back when work is not on a Sunday for you. And thank you. I think of you often as I kit projects together. So that is my Wilbur, and Wilbur is from Teresa Kogat, still available, an older stitch. Let me show you what I'll save my last big thing, my last big stitching thing. I have one more before this. Is my unicorn badger. Yes, a unicorn, peacock, a unicorn, a badger. I was like, no, something doesn't sound right. Oh, so I have been doing kind of background. I'll do 1 or 2 threads when I meet up with my friends, because you don't need a chart, you can talk, you oftentimes don't mess up, oftentimes, not never. So let me, it's so big it's hard to show anymore. Almost there, people, almost there. It's agonizing, isn't it? Just show it, Becky. So I am using Vintage Country Mocha Zweigart 40 count DMC 1/2, which I don't know if you've picked up on, is my favorite. Oh no! Oh, tragedy. More waiting. More waiting. Hold please. Hold please. This is why you do this in the sewing room, because you're near all the things you need to secure stuff. Okay. It's a little bit on my stitching, but we'll have to do. Yay, right? So I really haven't done any more fill-in till just recently. So I filled in the rest of the, I did the outline on. Ooh, okay. All right, hold it together, people. I'm coming. Hold on, Ron. Notice I said that. It's been so long, you might not remember. We have a drinking game. So whenever I say Ron and Connie, my favorite neighbors, they have a drink. They started the game. You guys just get to participate. Oh, I'm hating life here. So sorry. Now that I'm going to all the trouble, we should just get it straight, shouldn't we? We should, right? For heaven's sakes. More prep work next time, right? But it was time to get a video up, so I just was tired of stalling, tired of saying, well, XYZ needs to be done before I can do that. Let's just do one. So I filled in this outline down here, finished that outline, and started filling out more of the color of the unicorn. And there's it probably comes down to about here. We've got a water scene down below. But I've been filling in on this side, the background. Ooh, I have dangling threads everywhere. That's for down there. It's a parked thread. So I've been working on these guys with my stitching. And I really love it. This is, and everyone who stitches this says the same thing. It is a very fun stitch. I know it's very large. I would tell you every day that I love filling in 100%. I love doing the green background. I like that stitching. I will say that well, here, I just took the things off, but I'll show you this little section here. So you can kind of see the difference when the green is filled in. I feel like the shapes and the motifs are not quite as distinct when it's not filled in. But I wouldn't change it. I really do like it. But there's something that to me that's quite appealing about this section over here that's not quite filled in. And this is based off a 17th century tapestry. So there's plenty to giggle about with the phallic shapes and such like that. While I'm in this bag, I do have some recent haul that I'll show you. And I will tell you why I have this in this bag. Because I am going to the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit in September. There are still spaces open. You should come. Come join me. Let's hang out. I'm going because the Artsy Housewife and Avalia Folk Embroidery are both going to be there with projects. And I love, 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 love them both. It didn't hurt any that some of my favorite floss tube stitchers will also be there. I have Lady Robin S. and the Curious Crafters. I've started watching the Thread Gremlins, and I believe at least one of them will be there as well, so that's kind of fun. So I'm excited to hang out with some of my stitch folks. Some of you may know I have a bucket list of people I want to stitch with, and 3 of them will be there, so I'm very excited. And of course, Carolyn is doing a peacock, a unicorn, a badger, and she's doing it in the silks, so I can't wait to compare and contrast. But I know it's months away, and there'll be lots of things that come out between now and then, but I was like, ooh, already starting to think, what do I have that could be like a specific Acorn and Threads kit up for me? What would make it just special, because I can't always shop at Acorns and Threads? What can I get there that I can't always get everywhere else? And I unfortunately don't have an LNS near me. So one of the things I've been eager to try and look forward to buying is the Jody's fabric, the Cedar River linens. I always mess up the middle, so I apologize, but her linens are raved about, loved on. She's starting to carry them in other like online venues, but I feel like they're so special. Like, I want to choose just the perfect one. Meanwhile, Hands Across the Sea has an exclusive Hobby House chart. And they may or may not have. When I saw it, I had to have it. I don't know when I'll stitch it, but I had to have it. And I only could get the chart. They didn't have the kits. This is it, and it's Catherine's Garden. And I love all those colors. Love all the colors. So I bought this, and it's on Cedar River linen, and it's in silks. I mean, they do a great conversion of all the things. But since they were out of the kits, I don't have to feel bad that I can't kit it up there. So I'll kit it up at Acorns and Threads. So I have this chart stuck into this bag, because it's a nice big bag. And that will go with me for sure. Very exciting. So one of the other inspirations for me to get back on FlossTube is to explain myself. I was watching The Curious Crafters, one of my faves, Thursday night must-see TV. For those of you who are old enough to know what that is. They were curious about doing samplers just with the black and white chart, kind of choose your own adventure, pick your own floss, and what people would think about that. Well, I have been dying to do the floral motif sampler. And for one reason or another, I just haven't bought the charts. I also, once upon a time, bought the 103s, the whole kit for Mrs. Campbell, which is a Hands Across the Sea stitch. And I loved it. It was a Scottish sampler. It was nice and bright, just like the Catherine's Garden one. I love the sentiment. It was on 46 count tabby cat with 103s. these 103s as a matter of fact. And let's see if I can show you the colors there. They're the reds. I kind of color block them. These are greens and golds. And then these are neutrals and browns and blues. So loved all these, and I certainly don't want them to go to waste. But I was not enjoying Mrs. Campbell, and the thrill kind of left me. I may stitch her eventually, but the thrill was gone. And I had decided that, again, no need to stitch on something and just drudge through it, especially on 46 count. So I put that aside. I did away with the linen and put the threads aside, thinking that might be a cool floral motif conversion. And then instead of buying the pattern, I am using Brenda Key's Ultimate Sampler Motif Source Book. Now, I can't show you the chart, but what I can tell you is that it's this big. And it doesn't come spiral bound. I've taken it upon myself to spiral bound it so that it laid flat. I love using GoodNotes, and so having this lay flat allows me to take a better picture of it. This book, you can literally make your own sampler. It's got borders, it's got people, it's got houses, it's got pigs, it's got bicycles, it's got fruits and flowers and trees. It's got all the things. It really does. Crowns, all kinds of stuff. And there, and let me just take you to the table of contents. I think I can show that to you. I don't want to show any of the charts. So this is the table of contents. You can see that there's tons of birds and fruit and floral and borders and trees, alphabets in here. So I have literally tagged a page that I liked. It was very challenging to figure out which page. And it is laid out essentially just like the floral motif sampler. So that's what I'm doing. I am using the chart. It is in black and white. In the back of the chart, in the back of the book, she does offer a key because she uses different symbols. I'm ignoring that. I'm doing my own thing. So that's what I've been doing. And let me get my handy dandy little thing here and I'll show you where I'm at. I've only done a couple. I only started this a couple weeks ago. And again, this is a 40 count. It is number 12 Stitch Co. And it is called Rain Cloud. Ooh, I have needles and threads everywhere. Oh my. And this is what it is. So you can kind of see the luster. I'm just doing my own thing, hanging out, making the colors as I want. So count me in, Curious Crafters. They're going to start a group if you are interested in kind of following along in the steps of our ancestors and using what kinds of things they would use. They didn't have color printing at the time, I'm sure. How did those little girls learn all these complicated motifs? And they had little charts and cheat sheets and that sort of thing as well. So count me in. That is all my stitching, but I want to share a couple more things, and I don't want this to be too long, but I think I still have time. I have been on a Mary Engelbrite kick. I'm not gonna lie. It started with the Comfort Stitcher on FlossTube. She was kind of introducing herself, and she had said that she used to work for Mary Engelbrite as a, she would do some of the art and the lettering and all that stuff. And if any of you are familiar with Mary Engelbrite from the 80s like I am, very stylized. And I think I've recently also on this journey, I found a Mary Engelbrite book at a thrift store. It was a cross-stitch book, so I bought that, of course. And then recently on Craft Industry Alliance podcast, I listened to a lot of things while I'm driving in the car. Mary Engelbrite herself, who is still thriving in business, was interviewed on that, and that was fascinating to listen to. And then right after that, my quilting buddy said, I think you were very interested in the quilt basket with all the Mary Engelbrite things. Is that correct? And I said, yes. At our quilt show, we had raffle baskets, and one had all things Mary Engelbrite in it, and I was just going apey for it. If you can imagine me being shy and quiet about wanting something. Anyway, I did not win the basket and was very disappointed. Everyone knows. But she apparently had more fabric. Her sister, who had unfortunately passed away, had all these Mary Engelbrite prints because she loved them. So she gave me like 2 bundles that big of yardage and panels and pillows, you know, things that you cut out, make a deco pillow. So many fun things. So I made some project bags, and I'm still going to make a couple more, but I wanted to show you. So this is kind of my new favorite style. I really like a vinyl. There's something about being able to see inside of a bag. These are 13 inches high, 14 inches wide, which is, in my new current opinion, just right for most projects. A little medium to large project, maybe not a BAP, because a BAP may have more threads that you need, but yes, I've really enjoyed these. And so I've been doing some some fabric on the bottom so you don't have a full panel, a shorter top so it's easier to put the 8.5 by 11 sheet of booklet or paper in, so no problem with the chart. Oh, let's see, classic Mary Engelbrite. So I have 2 that style, and I made a couple of these too, but I've already started using them, or given them away. And this is Life is Just a Chair of Bullies, if you recall. And then look at that cute fabric back there. This one, I was just testing it out using scraps of what I had. And then this one, I started kind of developing what sizes I would need to do. And I'm making some black ones with teapots on them and that kind of stuff. So they're very fun, and I've had a good time putting those together. The other things I want to talk about are quilt related. So my mother-in-law, Sunday being Mother's Day in 2025, had somewhere along the line started this quilt. And she had the top about 75% done. And she had it in a box with all the extra fabric and yardage and some things cut out and whatnot. And I have decided to finish it up and give it to her for Mother's Day. It's a log cabin quilt. I do not know how old these fabrics are, but I am guessing 80s. And you probably can tell by the colors. And it's just a big log cabin quilt. I'm not going to be able to show it all. I was able to piece together some of the back. As you can see, I've gotten the quilting done, and this is my favorite quilting stitch. It's what I did with my award-winning quilt. But this wavy stitch I learned and did not get the best of batting. Hey guys, if you are quilters, batting matters. Don't cheap out on it because it'll just get all over everything. This wasn't cheap, but you know, it wasn't name brand either. So this wavy stitch has been so kind to this quilt because my mother-in-law did not continue to quilt. She didn't finish this quilt, did not enjoy quilting. The seams are not perfect. The cutting is not perfect, nor does it matter that it is or is not perfect. But she has on her bed, she's in an assisted living facility right now, and on her bed is one of her ancestors' quilts, and it's a Dresden plate quilt that's all hand stitched. And the last time I was there, which is what has got my butt moving on this, the Dresden, I mean, they're washing it like normal, and unfortunately this is not a normal durable quilt any longer, and the Dresden plates are starting to fall apart. So I really want to not take that quilt. I want to put it over one of her chairs so she can still see it, but not use it as her daily quilt and have this be her daily quilt. So I just have the binding. I've got my border done, and that's not my border. That is my label. And then I've got my binding complete, which is way more binding than I need. This is also in the quilt. Total 80s, yes. So I will get that together between Friday night, which is tonight, and Saturday, and see if I can't get that done so my husband can give that to his mommy. The other quilt is very exciting too. So I am not for hire. I do not sew for other people usually. But when my boss showed me this quilt, I selfishly said I would help repair this quilt because I just want to spend time with this quilt. So his mother had 2 quilt tops in an attic for like 60 years. And he believes this is his great-grandmother's handiwork. And it is a tumbling block quilt. You can see where it's in tatters. And this is all different kinds of materials. This is not cotton. And it's probably ties and shirting and dresses. Is this not fabulous? So fabulous. It's got some of the blocks around the edges still have the paper in them. It's just fantastic. So he gave me some ties of his own, which will work perfectly in this quilt. Look, just look, just look, just look. How cool is that? There's another quilt. I didn't get it down. It's over there. It's a star shape, and it is also clearly made out of clothing materials as well, but it's more cotton. So I am going to make some paper shapes on my Cricut. I'm going to use my Quilt Folk magazine. I had one that was damaged in delivery, but it's still in fairly decent shape except for the spine. And I thought I could cut those fabrics, those papers up because they'd be, I think, the right thickness for silk ties, and lovingly repair this quilt. I have no idea when. There's no time frame on it, but I would like to kind of get started on it. What I love about this is, let's see if I can see this one, is that you can see those lovely stitches. I think that's fantastic. Here's some good ones over here too. quilts do not need to be perfect. They need to be lovingly made, as do all crafts. I really feel strongly. Now, of course, so there's a fine line of things that will bother me, or that I will not note down properly and remember to not count off when I'm doing cross stitch, for example. I do a lot of ripping out, but in my peacock, a unicorn, a badger, I've made some grievous errors. But you can't tell, and there's something to it that delights me because I know that it's mine. So in 200 years from now, when somebody is picking it up out of the goodwill in the great universe, because we live in space now, they're going to go, oh, look where she messed up on this, and that's going to be mine. So that is just its character, and it will be admired in years to come. Well, it's been 45 minutes. I have missed you guys. I have make no promises on when I will return. I have no idea. I would like to come back more often. We'll leave it at that. Thank you for those who checked in on me. Happy stitching, and have a great week. Until next time, I will see you later. Bye.